Warning. It is the opinion of the Forestry Productions LLC and the Working Perspectives podcast that we should inform you that some of the language used in this recording could possibly be considered offensive. You have been warned, so if you decide to listen to the recording, then don't complain about the language.
Yeah, he also threw bricks through all my windows.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
My mom had called me after they dealt with the cops and told me because I had called the cops for her and he was on his way and to get out of my house.
Oh,
and luckily my brother was in an apartment next door to me, but he wasn't home and our balconies faced each other.
Yeah.
And I grabbed my son and I ran across to his balcony and there was a bureau thing that I literally had to hold my son and tell him to be quiet, not to make a noise, because if he did, Papa was going to hurt us. And my son and I watched him throw bricks through all of my windows.
Oh my gosh.
And if my mom didn't call us, where my son was laying, a brick landed right where my son was lying.
Oh my God. Hi, hello, and welcome to the Working Perspectives podcast. Today, we're going to be reviewing a comment that was left on one of our videos. The comment goes as thus. It is from the Vermont Mom, and it says, okay, not sure how I ended up here, ... but ... my mom married a felon, moved to Rutland, Vermont, and they bought a rooming house. He had the place wired. I mean, cameras everywhere. The main entrance has locked code doors. This man was sick. I will out him here. Michael Petruccelli. Look him up. He will give you a couple episodes. There is missing people to this day. This house sold every drug under the sun, mostly cocaine and weed. He had New York's running drugs. This place was a mess. People dying all the time. My mom could not get away. He eventually tried to kill her and is in prison for it now. Morale got carried away. They had a deal with FSU and FSU workers banked. So I bet the homeowner was in on it. ... JS. All right. To share more from that comment, she's here today. The Vermont Mom. Vermont Mom, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, super excited. Steve, how are you?
Listen, I guess I'm doing better, right? A little CTE, but I got the Mean Cheween shirt on. I'm excited, man. We got a guest on. I'm trying to look presentable. You know what I mean?
You certainly are, my man. You certainly are.
I stopped, yo.
Yeah, we're good. Lasmeeshma, how are you, my man?
I don't think I'm as good as Steve, but I am very excited for tonight.
I mean, we all are pretty excited. So, speaking of being excited, this is the Working Perspectives podcast. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
It's all objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. Would you share it? Would you share it? Would you share it? Working Perspectives.
All right. So, like we said, we have the Vermont Mom on the show today. So, get a little backstory. We all have another show that's available on our YouTube channel, and it's called Let's Get Retorted. On this show, we'll look up different comments that are on our videos and across our social media, and we'll respond to these comments in kind. So one of the best I'd have to say probably, I mean, it's up there. Top 3 comments.
Top 5 dead or alive.
Easily. And then, so one of the top comments we received was from the Vermont Mom. I'll read it again just so we remember, and then we'll get right into it. So, from the Vermont Mom, this comment, yeah, there's plenty of dots for sure. But this comment is available. It's on a clip we put out of cops misses dead body at crime scene. This is from a few months back, but here it goes. So again. Okay, comma, not sure how we ended up here, ... but ... my mom married a felon, moved to Rutland, Vermont, and they bought a rooming house. He had this place wired, ... I mean, cameras everywhere, ... The main entrances had lock code doors. This man was sick, ... I will out him here, Michael Petruccelli. Look him up. He will give you a couple episodes, ... There is missing people to this day. That house sold every drug under the sun, mostly cocaine and weed. He had New York's running drugs. This place was a mess. People dying all the time. My mom could not get away. He eventually tried to kill her and is in prison for it now. Morale, comma, got carried away, ... They had a deal with FSU and FSU workers banked. So I bet this homeowner was in on it, ... JS, period. So Vermont Mom, thank you for leaving that comment again. And thank you for being on the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me again.
Perfect. So are you excited to get into this or what?
Sure. As excited I can be, I guess.
Okay. So let's unhatch this comment a little bit first, right? So it started out by saying, okay, not sure how I ended up here. Was that a good thing or a bad thing? Were you happy that you ended up
it was definitely good.
Yeah.
Definitely good.
Yeah.
I just never heard of y'all before.
Yeah, we're trying. I'll tell you, there's this thing called search engine optimization, and it's a mother. So
it is.
Trying to get better at that, but we're glad that we got you. So then it says, my mom married a felon, and I'm assuming when you say felon, you mean Michael Petruccelli.
Yes,
right?
I do.
Okay, so can you give us like a year and a time frame of when your mom met this guy and how it went?
My mom met him when I was pregnant for my son I had him in 2007 and he was there. They got married together in 2009, I believe. My son was almost 2.
Oh, wow.
Around there.
Okay. So then when you first meet this guy, right, what are you sensing? Like, who is this creep? What's going on?
Not at all.
Really?
Not at all. He had my whole family convinced he was a church going freaking Bible thumper.
Really? So
oh yeah.
Wow. Total charmer.
Came from a good family and everything.
And because it's Petruccelli, clearly he's a Roman Catholic, correct?
And he's a Mormon.
There's Italian Mormons? I never knew this. Oh my God.
That is really interesting. He had so from what I read, he kind of like got his start like in the judicial system, so to speak. When in 94, it said he sexually assaulted a 15-year-old girl and got 10 years for it and got released when he was in his early 40s. So I guess around 04, he got released. And that's around he met my mom. He presented himself to you and your family as like this.
We had no clue.
Like, he was using his real name and everything?
Oh, God, yeah. Yep, I didn't even think to look the her up. Excuse me, sorry.
I think hold on, let me check.
No, hold on. Let it roll.
We're close, but
hold on.
I didn't even think to look him up.
Real quick, hold on.
Matt.
So, Liam, what you're saying is this guy got busted in 94 for, assaulting an underage girl, did 10 years, and it definitely wasn't pleasant. And then, so he gets out in probably around 2004, and then he married your mom in 07, but they met around 04, right?
I had my son in 07, and they weren't married yet.
Oh, no. But they met around that time, you're saying?
They were together for a little bit around then, because they already moved into the rooming house. They were literally remodeling it to make it into a rooming house where he was adding all the cameras to all the entrances everywhere. Literally now, everywhere.
We just can't breeze past this for me, right? I may or may not allegedly have been to a jail or two in Philadelphia, right?
Sure.
So, to hear a guy that went through and wasn't Mormon from the start, right? He somewhere picked up Mormonism. We're not talking about Muslim, right? He didn't go to
No.
He's a Mormon. Where did he pick up the Mormon thing from as an Italian?
I have no clue. No clue. Probably when he moved into Rutland, because the church right down on the corner was the Mormon church. So
now listen, in Northeast Philadelphia, I seen Italian Jews, so I seen it all. Right. But that's still a wild one. An Italian. That's the first time I
don't believe he's blood Italian. To be honest, he was adopted by an Italian family.
Now
he doesn't look really Italian.
No, he's definitely not Italian.
And I think the Mormon thing and like the churchy thing is kind of like part of like the facade that like abusive people put up.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
They
like when you meet them, you're not going to know they're horrible people. You know what I mean? They're not going to tell you like, hey, I'm terrible and I assaulted this girl. You know, they're going to tell you that they're like the nicest guy you ever met in your life. You know, you guys probably all love them because that's what he showed you. You know what I mean?
Well, my mom was also an addict. I had gone and picked my mom up from Burlington. She was cracked right out with some other dude. Like, she didn't live the best life. So he came in and swooped her right up and sobered her up and made her convinced that she was going to have it all. And my mom bought into it.
So, wow. I mean, you know what? It is kind of frightening to think like this guy, convicted assaulter of a minor, a female minor, did 10 years, which is real. And
by the way, not just the hardest 10 years, because every guy in prison is its own lawyer that been through the system. Every guy you could talk to who knows a little bit about everything. You can't lie because there's no such. The biggest thing they catch you lying in jail with is when you tell when they know your sentence, but you didn't tell them the crime. But they already fucking know. We're past 8 minutes. Already fucking when it comes know. To that. Yeah. So they know immediately when you say some bullshit and it doesn't match up with the length of the sentence. There's no, you're getting fucked up in jail for the underage.
I hope
thing.
He is. To be serious.
I will guarantee you he did. I don't care.
I hope he is right now. I hope he is right now.
Yeah. Once you have, once he has a bad jacket, that follows him forever.
Ever. Absolutely.
He's
none of his time matches any of his crimes. None of them. None of them.
Okay. So but think about this, right? He had done 10 years for a terrible crime, right? And he got out and he's like, plays Mr. Church going like, this guy, he's thinking
solid play. That's like his thing.
Yeah.
He finds your mom who, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but she seems to be like kind of like
on the downs.
Well, like,
she was definitely on her down.
Right. She was like a fixer upper. Right. So then he kind of lifts her up with, this stuff, still hiding inside the things that he's done and the man he really is. Then
he was sober.
He was sober. Then gets the boarding house. And I want to ask this guy already seems to me like he's the type of guy that put hidden cameras in the toilets. Would you agree? Is this the type of guy we're thinking?
I wouldn't doubt it for a second.
Wow.
You trying to watch you do?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
He's sick. He's literally laced women and had his way with many. Like he's a sick man. I'm not joking about that.
He is a sick man from what I gather.
Jesus Christ. So that's the main reason
I wanted to do this, regardless of any repercussions, is his name needs to be out there. Girls need to know about him and stay away from him.
Absolutely.
Amen.
He will be out in a couple years. So
you're 100% right. Yeah. You're 100% right.
He's an habitual offender.
Yeah,
he should be doing life.
Yeah.
He should be doing life.
Just so you know, and I hope it makes you feel better, I can guarantee you, allegedly, he's having the worst time in jail right now. The worst time.
I hope so.
The worst time.
Yeah. I hope so. We had a former guest.
Allegedly.
We had a former guest on the show named Chad Marks, and he did 17 years, but he did it for crack charge and gun possession. So he had a good jacket, right? So I mean, in prison life, but he had told us like, if you want to get out and like start doing good time, he's like, it sucks. You kind of have to live with not killing these guys. But he's like, when you're first in there, and he was a shot caller at one point and all these things, he's like, oh, those guys, once you find out, and if he's your cellie and you don't kill him, then you're dead too. So like these guys
pretty much.
They're wanted men. They're either living 23-1 or doing, you know, like all that, man. So he's, I mean,
and even guys who aren't doing anything are staying the fuck away from you because you're the cancer of the. There's no one that's gonna. Even the guys who aren't trying to, trying to mind their own business.
Oh no, but I'm sure his family's paying his way through
you're the
it
most
too.
Isolated. It's still different inside though. It's different. You can pay. It's.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
It is.
I hope everybody's bitching there for real.
Well, he's probably being protected because he likes to rat on people.
Could be on
he
PC,
does, and that's his main thing. And that's why he's only doing 7 years for trying to kill my mom.
I read he was a paid. I read he was a paid FBI informant at one point.
He is,
and he was giving up. Like he had all these dealers living in that house.
All of them New Yorkers.
Yeah, and like when
they were coming up from New York.
When he needed to get out of a jam, he would just give up a couple dealers to the FBI. They would take him away, and he would like continue his nonsense.
Wow. Yep. Okay, so. In the comment here, let me go back to the comment real quick. So in the comment, you mentioned that, you know, your mom married the felon, Michael Petruccelli, and that you moved to Rutland, Vermont, and that's when they opened the rooming house. And you're saying, you know, cameras everywhere and things like that. And how old were you when this happened? And are you from Vermont originally?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Also, quick question. Is it Vermont or New Hampshire? One of them, I think, still has hanging as their form of execution. Right.
I sure as hell hope Vermont.
I don't know. They both ride out up there. Yeah.
I think one of them still has public hanging.
New Hampshire's live free or die. So
it's
to be them too.
Yeah. I think it might be New Hampshire, but either way, still, I mean, you know, let's get this guy convicted.
It's the same fucking state. It's just a crooked line down the middle.
It
is just a crooked line.
Okay, so were you living with them when they opened up the rooming house in Rutland?
I was not actually. I was still with my son's father at the time in Ludlow.
Okay.
But I ended up renting a room from them right after having my son to get on my feet after leaving my son's father. So I ended up right in the mix.
Man,
not in that kind of mix, not that whole mix. I stayed out of all that shit, but
But I mean, hey, no one judges here. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh God, no.
We've all had our shit. We've all been
I'm a recovering addict, 15 years myself, but once I became a mom, that was it.
God bless you. Hey,
listen, hold on. Before we go any further, Matt, fuck that. Everything I say is allegedly. I've never done a goddamn thing in my life.
Steve has never admitted to a crime.
Yes.
Right. Of course, right.
I've paid my dues.
How foolish of me, Steve, to forget that. So, okay. So, all right. So you have your son and you go into this house. What was life like in this house?
Oh my God. It was like being in a prison.
And how old were you when you first go in? And how old were you?
I was 24.
When you first went in?
I had my son when I was 23.
Okay.
So I was about 23 when I actually rented that room, and I was there probably a year in and out of the rooming house, coming back and forth until I found out what kind of piece of shit he was. And he's a pedophile. I had a baby. I'm not going to have my minor child around somebody who's not allowed to be around minor children. So as soon as we found that out, I was like, yeah, no, not cool. And that's when he completely did a 180. Started drinking. That's when the crack came in, and it was. Hold on.
Did he go straight to the crack, or was there like an intermediate? Did we like any gateway to this thing? Did he do something?
Oh no!
That, like,
he started drinking and smoking fucking crack right off the rip.
From 10 miles an hour to 150.
Yeah, it sounds like once
his
the
real deal was he wanted my mom, he wanted me, and whatever other women he could have there, and it just wasn't going to happen. We aren't that kind of people. Like, what?
Right.
He's sick. Like,
it said he like messed around and stuff. Like he had a wife, but also like
a girlfriend in the rooming house.
Yeah.
Like,
holy shit.
Yeah, one of the drug dealers, drug dealers' friends or something. One of the drug dealers, like clients or whatever, you know what I mean? One of the dealer's addicts would come, and he was like, involved with that girl, and then also had his wife there. He said, I guess the girlfriend at the time. Did this happen while you were there? It said he handcuffed one of them to a chair and was shocking them with a stun gun. And
that was all recorded on his videos. That's what he got in trouble for that. He didn't do much time, but he definitely did. And to hear him tell it, because there's, I want to say, a bunch of fruit flies in that kitchen, but to hear him tell it, it was a bunch of orbs, and he was possessed when he did that.
So he did this to them just so we
she was pregnant. She was pregnant.
Unwillingly,
yes.
correct. Okay, all right. Yeah. If she's pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
He handcuffed a pregnant lady to a chair.
His
and shocked her.
girlfriend. Yes.
Oh,
This guy's
yes.
worse than I thought.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And dude, the crazy thing is that this guy, that type of guy was inside this guy the whole time, and you know, you had no idea when you first met him.
No.
That's the crazy thing.
But that's what they do, dude. That's how these situations happen, dude. Nobody just like, man,
and his parents financially paid for it all. So
he
kept
has
it rolling.
Yeah,
Say
he
that
has
again,
elderly. He has elderly parents, right? That kind of bankroll. They put like their life savings into this house,
that house,
because he was a felon. Nobody would hire him or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They put like almost all the money they had into this house, and then after he got busted and everything, the government came after the house. Like they tried to take the house. Did they end up getting?
They did. They did.
That's so
they bought him another house.
They bought him another one.
They turned around and bought him another house out in Pittsburgh.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
He's in PA
Swear to God. And that's where he tried to kill my mom.
Oh
so
my
your
goodness.
mom moved with him to Pittsburgh?
Well, he was in jail when they got this house. So it was part of an agreement, a legal agreement, and he wasn't supposed to go there at first. So my mom had nowhere to go when he showed up.
Oh man.
Wow.
That's so rough.
So Pete, did he, and so is he doing time in PA then?
I'm not sure where he is. Once he went for trying to kill my mom, I went to court with her, and that was that.
Where did he try to do that at? That you guys went to court
in Pittsburgh, Vermont.
Pittsburgh, Vermont.
Jesus, that's why I was so confused, man. I already felt this. I was like, hold on. Pittsburgh where? Pittsburgh, PA, when you said it?
Yeah.
She means Pittsburgh, Vermont.
Okay.
Pittsburgh with an F.
Oh.
Man,
this
we were way
better
off.
and better.
Samsonite.
This is Vermont.
Oh, we just pulled the Dumb and Dumber.
Way off.
We just straight pulled a Dumb and Dumber. Wow.
I fucking love it.
Oh my God.
We just cut a North Wales Lansdale Dumb and Dumber.
How bad, man. So, okay.
Because everyone was confused, because you obviously have heard of Pittsburgh, right? Pennsylvania.
Oh, of course I have.
Right. So that's we were like, what the fuck? Hold on.
What he said, I was like, oh, he's in PA now? We got this creep.
Holy shit.
There's 101 tiny little freaking towns in Vermont that most people have never freaking heard of. So.
Never knew. Because there's also a Philadelphia in Louisiana.
Alabama, or Mississippi.
I didn't know that either.
Mississippi, you're right. It's Mississippi. There's a Philadelphia in Mississippi that people are from Philadelphia, Mississippi. No one's ever heard of that place.
I did not know that.
I know there's a Burlington in like 10 different states too.
New Jersey, a giant one by us in New Jersey.
Burlington Coat Factory.
I was about to say that too, man.
They got more than great coats. You know?
You ever seen a Burlington Coat Factory? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that was like a I didn't know if that was like a regional thing or like a national thing. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
I don't know if it's a national thing. Is it really?
Well, I mean, it's down here.
Maybe because of all the fucking Burlingtons in the country, probably.
Yeah.
It's like a Russ in here, you know. It's where I get the good shit on the low.
Yeah, I don't mind
lucky
a good Burlington
you.
run. I like a good Burlington
Hell yeah,
run. You know?
Ross.
Did you ever see the one? Did you ever see the one where they show the Ross employees, like what the Ross employees do when they open up, and it's people knocking stuff
they
off
go right through all the good shit.
I love it. They do too.
That's what you should be able to do, having that job. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get back to this a little bit. Michael Petruccelli. This guy's a creep. Watch out for this bastard. So okay. So you're in this house, right? And then so you just had a kid too, right?
Yep.
Oh man.
And you guys are
so
a beautiful baby boy.
They're in Rutland. They're in Rutland. This point.
Oh, okay.
Still in Rutland.
Oh, we're still in Rutland when I had my son.
So
and I never lived in Pittsburgh with them. I stayed right away from there. I couldn't even step foot on that property.
Yeah. So when did you? So like you said, he started drinking and getting into the drugs and stuff. When did you do you have an instance where you're like, okay, this Mormon is lost it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right off the rip, as soon as he started, as soon as I heard that he was a registered sex offender, because somebody had told me that I shouldn't have my son over there. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like my stepfather? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And I finally asked my mom, and I'm like, Mom, what the fuck are they what is going on? And she told me that it wasn't like that. It was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And he hooked up with a girl that was younger than she told him, and yada, yada, yada.
He lied.
And I'm like, no, I don't care. No, I'm out. I'm sorry. No, Mom, you really need to think this one through and be careful. Like
she was in denial though.
And he moved in.
No names.
Shortly after that, who was all of 15.
This guy's a genuine salesman. Genuine salesman.
Gosh.
He is a straight up pedophile, registered sex offender. He's where he belongs to be.
Word. Wow.
He likes them young.
That's so messed up, dude. So that's so scary.
Are you saying like this girl?
He'll feed him alcohol, whatever he can.
Yeah. God, so he found like this
his prescriptions of Klonopin in their beer.
What's the definition of a predator, dude? Yeah, that's the definition of a predator.
And I'm gonna be honest. So all of us grew up with like a 30 guy group of guys that everybody known each other since like elementary school. Blah blah blah. Yeah. If that guy accidentally did that to one of the people in like the group of guys that we know, I'm surprised he got to still be alive at this point, because there's not a dad or somebody else or an uncle that stepped in and
No,
it's funny. So Steve,
the one time I heard my mom cry for help is the one day I did take a door off their hinges, kicking in their door, and I had to pay $200 so he didn't call the cops on me. Like.
Those two have kids.
Sorry, dude. I heard my mom.
Stop. If you would touch one of my nieces, you got to be out of your mind. Like,
oh God, no.
I don't even understand.
No, I wouldn't have called the cops. He never would have been seen again.
Yeah. Honestly, one of the things so I have a daughter. I've talked about her on the show.
Sure.
And dude, one of the things like my wife.
God did not give me one. Thank God.
My wife has researched like, how to spot predators and like what, and she saw this thing, like, what do predators look for and things like that. And they look for
it's a different day and age.
Yeah. They look for like absentee fathers, right? Like alone, like parents that aren't like involved, things like that. Like that's what they look for, and that's what they prey on. So
no alpha males around,
right?
Or girls going through a tough time that don't want to talk to their parents, or that are just trying to be away, trying to run away, that are going through troubled times. Like they'll scoop them right up.
Yeah.
It's disgusting and it's heartbreaking.
So that's what he did with this. I guess I don't know if we can say her name. He pulled in this young girl and he offered like drugs and alcohol and things like that.
Oh yeah.
And then
he got her hooked.
Oh,
and she had babies.
So messed up, man. That is so messed up.
She was a baby having babies.
Oh,
just so we know, you say it Petruccelli, this piece of shit.
Correct.
Dude.
Terrible.
Correct.
My word, man.
Petruccelli.
Between the three of us, you got, whatever it is, you can cut this, Matt, but 2 girl dads, and my brother has, the only thing I have is a brother with 2 nieces. So there's 4 girl, like, you gotta be kidding me, yo.
No.
Yeah, man.
Nope, you better stay healthy for a while there, Unc.
And
Dad.
But I will say this, as fucked up as this is, pulled the perfect card with the fucking
Mormon
religion thing. Yeah. And not just specifically to
Mormons. I should have known better with the whole Mormon thing, because they always want extra women. Like they do. They want the sister wives shit. Like,
you ever met a guy that said I need 5 more
I should have known it then.
Hey, Matt,
he used to say stupid shit.
No, dude. I don't know how
you guys are getting stomped out. Yeah, you're gonna get stomped out on the regular. Someone's gonna kill me when I'm asleep.
Oh, easily. I don't know how any man. I have one wife, and I have no clue how you could have more than one.
What?
I have no idea.
I'm a wife, and I don't know how my men live with me.
Amen.
I mean, I love my wife so much, but I mean, how
too
can
much
you have,
emotion from y'all.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
You're not kidding.
I mean, unless the Mormons know something that we don't, but I doubt it. You know.
I mean, all of them, most of them got money. This is like their thing.
And
It's like
but
a lot of them are
like
mostly down.
and stuff, and they like. Don't they believe that like you ever see the Book of Mormon on South Park?
Yeah.
I'm basing everything I know about Mormons off of South Park.
Jesus was reincarnated in like Utah or something, or upstate New York or something.
Yeah, remember he like stuck his head in that hat to like read the thing, and but he could only do it when he was by himself. He couldn't do it when anybody else was around.
Yeah.
It was really weird, man.
In Vermont, where you grew up, what was like the dominant? Because obviously it's not a populated area. What was the dominant religion of like the people around you that you kind of came up with? Was it Catholicism?
Whatever's not religious.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big.
You lived on your own land.
I think.
Yeah, I agree. Right.
So there's like hippies in Vermont, right? Yeah,
a lot of them.
Hippies, dog. Most of the people have to kill what they're going to eat. It's not like going to the grocery store. Like, I mean, you can if you need to, but most of them live off the land and do what they got to do.
They do.
You know, it's the
cows in their backyard, chicken in their front.
Much different.
Really?
Yes, much different.
Is that rustic?
Much different place.
We got groceries.
Dog, it's beautiful.
I know. I know we're getting a little off topic, doing a little bird walking, but we're in Pennsylvania. We're in southeastern PA, and I'll tell you, the smoke down here ain't
right
great.
Now. Oh my God!
I can't imagine what it's like in Vermont.
Oh yeah, she probably has.
I went outside yesterday, and I almost thought it was my anxiety. And I went back inside. My husband told me today, he was like, "No, it's from the fires in Canada."
Yeah.
You fool.
How about the sun? Did you look at the sun? It looks like a goddamn.
There isn't any.
It's wild. Yeah. Oh yeah. For you. Yeah. You're right.
It's all cloudy.
Looks like an orange. It's like an orange ball at this point.
Oh, that's so crazy, man.
It's weird. Oh. Yeah. It's scary. Hopefully it all passes soon. But
fucking Canada. Fuck you, Trudeau. Big pussy.
You've always had
a lot of trees over there.
I got a fucking problem with Trudeau. A big pussy.
So, okay. So you had seen like glimpses of this when you're breaking down doors, when your mom's screaming and things like that. And you just seen how this guy acts in general. So you were like, Mom, I don't condone this. You need to split with this guy.
I'm out.
Yeah. And
I got a place.
Yeah.
And I pieced out. I stayed close so I could be around for my mom.
So how long did you see
that same night?
The crack? How long did you see like the real hard drugs? How long were you there?
Oh,
yeah, how long?
God. I want to say maybe 2-3 years.
Really?
So was it? How long was it without the drugs? Like as he came in with the whole
he had us all convinced. That's how he got us to believe. My mom married him in 2009. I met him while they were already together in 2007.
Okay.
So he had us convinced for a while.
How did she meet him?
For long con.
Probably at an AA meeting or something. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
I never asked.
I would love
after
if it was
a certain point I didn't
Christian
care.
mingle or something like that.
Christian
my
mingle.
mom's no Mormon nor no Christian. She's a Leo from fucking Vermont.
Yeah.
Nice.
So okay. So you saw the writing on the wall, and your mom did too, but she was kind of in denial. This guy is peddling crack and cocaine and weed and all this stuff out of the house. He's people had to know around town, like, this guy's up to no good in here. Like, he's abusing women. He's abusing minors.
Everybody who came out of jail was coming there. Like, I'm not kidding. They literally worked with FSU, which is a federal program for housing people that are on parole.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it gives them a chance to get out before they're supposed to get out. It's a furlough program type deal.
Okay, yes.
Okay. And he had a deal with them as renting rooms to these people so they could get out of jail.
Oh,
so like he was his own freaking warden. So pretty much. And so they were bringing it in all the time. People fresh out of prison. They were getting people bringing stuff in left and right.
And most guys that get so there's no furlough when you're like getting out.
I don't know the actual legitimacy.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I might know. A furlough you get while you're already locked up, and it's a huge ordeal. It might as well be Christmas fucking Day because you've been locked up for a couple of years, and you actually get a weekend off. That's the furlough. It can be as long as like a week, but you get a certain amount of days off. Something
different.
So yeah, if that's how people get furloughs, like around in at least I know that for Pennsylvania. That's how a furlough goes. But these guys were staying for more than a week.
Yeah.
They were staying.
They were getting out. They were getting out. Okay. They still had to check in with probation and parole and stuff.
House. Yes, it's more of a halfway house where they at least have to have an address. Any person that comes out of prison must have a viable address so you can find them. You're still on parole, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But they were coming to your house? Is that what you're saying? All these
and checking in.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. How many at one time?
And as soon as they didn't pay their rent or if they got caught doing something Michael didn't want them to do, he would call up their PO officer or whoever, and they'd be locked right back up. And their PO officers were banking. And so weren't whoever his parents were on all the down payments, deposits, first week rent, whatever.
That's what I was
saying. As soon as they're locked right back up, there's that room. They can rent it back out to somebody else and they get to keep all that money. It was a scheme.
Yeah, it sounds like because if he can say like, all right, you got to give me the first 2 weeks and then kick him out the first 2 weeks, then he's got like a steady supply of guys coming right out of jail. Guy's a real sleazeball, man. He's just taking advantage of like every person down on his luck that he can get his hands on.
Oh God!
And the scary part is this motherfucker
and
clearly
people with SSI, SSD, he'd get them right in too because it was automatic rent.
Okay, so writing's on the wall with this guy. You've already seen incidents and a bunch of other things that he's done. You've had the cops called on you by him for, breaking down doors to help your mom. You were like, screw this guy. I'm getting my kid. I'm getting out of here. You move out. You're begging your mom to like leave this guy, get away from this. They then move to Pittsburgh.
Well, there's a whole lot of stuff that happened before they went to Pittsburgh. He literally got locked up for the drug den. And there was an incident where my mom had called me at my apartment and told me to call the cops because she wasn't in a good spot. And I did. And
he got busted for messing her up then, for punching her repeatedly, his wife.
What a piece of shit.
Oh,
that's when he went
piece of shit.
That's when he actually, he also threw bricks through all my windows.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
My mom had called me after they dealt with the cops and told me because I had called the cops for her, I was now a cop calling whore and he was on his way and to get out of my house. And luckily my brother was in an apartment next door to me, but he wasn't home and our balconies faced each other.
Yeah.
And I grabbed my son and I ran across to his balcony and there was a bureau thing that I literally had to hold my son and tell him to be quiet, not to make a noise, because if he did, Papa was going to hurt us. And my son and I watched him throw bricks through all of my windows.
My gosh.
And if my mom didn't call us where my son was laying, a brick landed right where my son was lying.
Oh my God.
My
God.
Oh yeah. And she still didn't leave.
Yeah, you're talking about the worst kind of person that there is, dude.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It sounds like he's a danger to everyone around him. You know what I mean? Like, every person he comes in contact with is in immediate danger just by knowing him. Like if you're in his bubble, you're now like in danger, I
don't know what judge he went up to, the whole COVID thing. When COVID was going around, he tried getting out because of COVID. Yeah. I wanted to kiss the judge that told him flat out, I'm sorry, but you're more of a danger to society than COVID. You're not going nowhere.
Dude, so this guy's got a record of just scumbaggery after scumbaggery after
He held a gun to his own 2-year-old daughter's head.
Oh,
that was one of the first times that I heard of. That was years and years ago. And that daughter's now probably 19.
Oh my
20, maybe.
Wow.
And I'm sure she loves him.
Yeah.
Dude,
No, luckily,
no names.
smart enough to take the 2 that she had with him and run.
yeah, I'm sure she was. I was joking. I can't imagine anybody would love it. So,
she brought him back. I got to meet him, luckily, but
nice. So, what's crazy is like all this stuff happens, and like he is clearly just like terrible, you know. But in one of his court appearances, like he was still like kind of not like taking any kind of, you know what I mean?
Accountability.
Like,
responsibility.
He was blaming it on when he worked with the FBI. He said he had to start smoking crack to keep up appearances with the like other, you know what I mean? Like with the other criminals and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how he got addicted to crack. Not because he's horrible, but because he had to for the FBI.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why everything spun out of control.
The ghosts made him do it.
Yeah.
Or the aliens. To hear him tell
it. This is
he's a fucking freak.
Yeah,
like straight up.
Real. Wow, that's scary. That's so okay. A bunch of these incidents happen, a bunch of crazy things. I mean, there's more stuff that you're probably, you know, that we're, you know, that you don't know. But I mean, you know, we'll talk about some other time. But okay, so let's talk about so your mom, so he had went to jail. Then the government bought the house that he had in Rutland, Vermont. Then his parents bought him another house in Pittsburgh. But since he was in jail, that house in Pittsburgh went to your mom, right?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
With the D, like Ford.
Oh, damn it.
God damn.
Tonight.
Sam's way off. So, okay. So
blame Vermont.
Yeah, his parents. It's not you, it's us. But his parents.
No, not me. Vermont, the state.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. It's definitely Vermont. But his parents bought him a house in Pittsford, right? And then Pittsford. He bought him a house in Pittsford. Your mom then gets that house because he's in jail, right? He gets out of jail and then goes to that house, and then what happens?
They pretty much were roommates for a while.
Okay.
In separate room sides of the house.
Okay.
And he started drinking again, and he went off on my mom.
So what was the attempted murder? Like, what did he do? I mean, he fucking pounded the shit right out of her. Literally. He tried smothering my mom.
Oh, God.
She had punctured lungs. Both of her eyes were almost swollen shut.
Oh,
and
my word.
He thought she was dead. That's when he stopped, and he went to bed. And my mom
went to bed.
Luckily. And my mom crawled to the bathroom and locked herself in the bathroom and called my brother. And my brother was like, fucking hang up and call 911. Like,
whoa.
Yeah.
What did your brother do? Did he like go?
He ran to the house. Like my brother got in a car and he didn't have my brother got a ride to my mom's house. And luckily the cops beat him there.
Yeah, he probably would have killed the guy. I mean, would have done the world.
That's how I would imagine it going. Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I don't want to incriminate your brother or anything, but
he didn't do a damn thing. So if the cops didn't show up, I don't want to know what my brother would have done.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, golly. So this guy almost, I mean, you know, and if this is too tough for you, it's
okay. I've gone through a lot of therapy, believe it or not, over this man. So
you seem very well adjusted.
I'm a little shaky. It's a little PTSD, but
that's his final jail stroll. Like that is the final.
Is trying to kill my mom.
Yeah, so he's been in jail.
He only got 7 years. Yep.
7 years for attempted murder?
They didn't give him attempted murder because they both were drinking.
So
they couldn't prove intent.
No, it was probably homicide, but with no intention.
And he probably gave up somebody else.
Attempted homicide without the intention.
I think they only charged him with an aggravated domestic or something.
Yeah, that's
So is he charged? So I don't know, Liam. Is this his 7-year sentence? Obviously, they never give you the max. There's a statute, so he probably was like anywhere from 5 years to 25 years, and they gave him whatever they fucking gave him. But his sentence was a 7-year sentence for this.
Yeah.
Wow.
7 years.
Yeah.
That's probably did cough someone up,
For sure. For sure.
But to me, I'm sorry, but this is a
habitual offender.
Yeah, this
is
an
habitual offender.
The system is kind of failing your mom in this situation, dude.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Big time.
100%.
When it's the same person being abused by the same person, like
he's always the problem.
Time and time again.
He is too.
This guy's got like a violent history, like on paper, like, and you know what I mean? Like, this is nothing new. And then for them to just say like, yeah, she almost died, but they were both drinking. So he should only get 7 years. Yeah. That's
like, what the fuck?
That's to me, that's the system.
I don't know how he didn't, to be honest. So I'm very glad he didn't.
Yeah. It's almost like you would think that would be like if it was somebody's like first ever offense and they were both drunk, not somebody that's done this their whole life.
Correct.
Exactly.
And done this to this person for years, dude. It's crazy.
And not just her.
Man.
Any other woman he was with prior to her. There's history. There's a lot of history of it. Yeah. And if I had the technology then or at my fingertips then, and now that I'm aware of all these sick fucks,
Hey, I know we don't want to say your name, but Vermont Mom, thank you so much for
it's been awesome.
Thank you.
This has been we have been coming.
I have had fun for real.
This has been you've been a great
even
guest.
Talking about the shit I've been talking about, but still.
Hell yeah.
You've been great, and you've been a great guest, and me, Liam, and Steve all agree. Like, we would love to have you back on the show if you'd be willing to come back on sometime.
I got what is it? What is what did I say? Instagram?
Yeah.
Like, I feel so old.
Hold on. Without being disrespectful, how old are you? Is that something you can answer?
I will be 40 this December.
Okay, so you're younger than you're younger.
No, I'm not that old.
You're younger than me. I'll be 40 in October.
Yeah, you're not old at all.
Okay.
For everyone listening, we'll have a link in the description of this episode. Your Instagram handle is Vermont Mom 20. Vermont Mom 20. So
thank you. I didn't know that.
Hell yeah.
Give Vermont Mom 20.
Follow out Vermont Mom.
Yeah, man. Shout out. Follow some love. She's awesome. This just helped get the word out there because these people need to be outed. Society needs to know who these people are. And we should, everyone needs to band together to get rid of these people. So we are coming towards the top of time. Vermont Mom, you've been awesome. Is there anything you want to say to the Vermont Mom faithful before we get out of here?
Oh gosh, thanks for having me. That's about it.
Right, thanks for being on. Strong Stem, anything you want to say before we rowdy 5,000?
Of fucking course. One quick one is, again, I just want to reiterate it, is fuck Canada and Trudeau with my shitty ass air quality right now.
Yeah, it's not great.
But Maddie, I know you're gonna love this. Can I get 5 seconds for a moment of silence for my man, the Iron Sheik?
Oh, bro.
The legend.
Oh yeah.
One of the greatest. Can I get 5 seconds?
Iron Sheik.
You tell me when it's done, Maddie. Go ahead. Ready for Iron Sheik. Go ahead.
All right.
Amen.
Shout out Iron Sheik, fan of the show, listener of the show.
Legend.
Man, the legend. Shout out.
81.
Damn, dude, I'll tell you the things that guy has done. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Do you see there's a documentary on him that's supposed to be pretty good.
I haven't seen it yet. Either have I. I can't wait.
Dude, apparently he liked to be called, hey, it's Sheiky baby.
Yes.
Yo, he had some legendary matches too. So this guy
before we walk, was the 1983 World Heavyweight Champion of the world. Nice. He won the strap.
Yeah. Good for him.
Hall of Famer.
Shout out. Nice.
And that's when all the greats were born for sure.
That's right. That's right. These two queers are 84. We're out here with 83.
All right. Nice. Strong or Lasmeeshma, what do you got before we get out of here?
Anyone that went on Comics Perspectives this weekend and gave a like or a view to that Back to the Future post, thank you so much. A million times thank you.
Dude, another killer post, Lasmeeshma. Dude, I'm telling you, Comics Perspectives is a great follow. I love it. And you've been putting out killer stuff, man. I love when you go to those shows and put the videos out from them, and they do great.
It's always the cars. It's always the cars. It was the Batmobile, like completely blew up. And this time the DeLorean completely blew up, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to check it out.
Thank you. Awesome. Anyone that
I'll have to show my son.
I don't like any of that shit, but I love the pictures you send of your daughter that's at these things with you.
Yeah.
It's so hyped to be. The pictures are fantastic.
It is. It is really cool.
Yeah.
We do.
She loves it,
Yeah, Liam does a great job too of because I like comic book stuff and I like all that stuff, but he does a great job of telling, giving you a story or a synopsis of something that's kind of on the back shelf that you wouldn't know, but when you hear it,
guys like me that don't know none of that shit, I'm like, every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, I.
Yeah, it's like a 1-minute clip, and it's really, really good stuff. We'll have a link in the description of this episode for Comics Perspectives on Instagram. Great follow.
Nice.
Shout out.
Everybody follow. So speaking of following Comics Perspectives on Instagram, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by Strong Stem Steve Cabot, Lasmeeshma, Liam Reese, and our special guest today, the incredible Vermont Mom. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content and all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can us on Instagram, Working Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. And please like, subscribe so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening. Stick around and get ready for Let's Get Retorted. Have a great weekend. Thanks. See you. All right. So for all those listening for the after show, this is where we're going to go right into Let's Get Retorted. That video will be available on our YouTube channel. Check it out. We're going to have the Vermont Mom sticking around for this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. So check it out. And then, we'll see you there. Thanks. Bye.